Hello, welcome to my channel, The Blended Homemaker. I'm so happy you are here. Raising children in two separate households with an ex-spouse is a real challenge. I'm here to encourage you and inspire you to keep going and to find God's path for your journey. Well, we are here together to let you know that we just celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary. Yay! We did it, 10 years.
We did it.
10 years strong. We celebrated by going to a spa resort for the weekend. It was a local spa resort, so we didn't go too far. And it was really, really nice. We had a family member come and stay with the kids, and it was nice to get away and just focus on us and only us for a whole weekend. It was really nice.
It's nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very quiet. And there was like no phone zones. Like the only place you could use your cell phone on the whole resort was your room. So that was nice. We like literally had zero distractions, which is, you know, not the norm for sure, but yet it felt great. It didn't feel out of like awkward or anything, even though it's not our norm. It was just really nice. And
yeah, even though we were out of our normal element and it wasn't our bed and all that, we were relaxed, and it was good.
We were really relaxed.
Really relaxed.
Full body massages, and
it was good.
Jacuzzis and
an outdoor pool that's heated that a mallard came in and decided to swim with us for about a half hour, so that was pretty unique.
We got to swim with the duck.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Well, we wanted to share with you what 10 years of marriage has kind of looked like. So I guess to start with, I wanted to talk about how co-parenting with an ex-spouse has affected our marriage. I would say in some ways it has affected our marriage in a good way. And then I would say in some ways it has affected our marriage in a negative way. So it's helped it and hurt it. I guess you could say. We both agreed that one of the ways that it's hurt our marriage is that we spent a lot of time focusing on how to navigate our relationship with my ex, who we were co-parenting with, and less time focused on how to navigate our own relationship together, if that makes sense. Like it just focusing on that past relationship and navigating, co-parenting with him, took time away from us focusing on us, right?
Yeah.
But yet, with that said, I would say that it strengthened our bond between the two of us because, it felt good. I guess from my standpoint anyways, it strengthened our bond because it felt good to have somebody there to hold my hand through the process, to encourage me through the process, and just to like help me through it, as somebody to bounce things off of, was really helpful. So it definitely like built our bond, from my point of view, and strengthened my trust, in you and in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the fact that I brought children into the relationship that Brad chose to take on as his own. He chose to take that adoptive role over my children and to treat them just like they're his. I mean, he treats them no different at all. And that has also strengthened my feelings towards you. But I know when we were kind of talking about what we were going to say in the video, you had mentioned some frustrations that, you had on your end. I don't know if you want to share those or...
Yeah, if you can remind me on what...
Well, you had said that, like, it was frustrating that, here I am sharing with you all of my issues and the situations I was trying to navigate through with my ex-spouse. And it would be frustrating on your end because you wanted to come in and just fix it. You wanted to make it just all go away, and you couldn't do that. And so there was just like some frustration seeing me hurt, seeing me frustrated.
Yeah.
Was frustrating to you.
Yeah, it you're like a third party, or you feel like you are, because you're sitting back and you're watching this unravel, and you understand that there's a lot of frustration, and there's stress, and there's maybe new things that come up every day that are out of your control. So things might go real smooth for a day or so, and then all of a sudden something blows up, and you're just like, okay, what just happened here? And so to see my wife go through that, sometimes on a daily basis, if not for sure a weekly basis, is really challenging to watch. And because I'm a doer, and I want to get stuff done, and I want to help, right? And when you're in that step parent, new marriage relationship type thing, and you're in that role, I should say, there's only so much you can do. And I think the best thing, or the most productive thing that I did, or that I felt like even now that was the best thing to do, is really like take the godly approach to it. Don't walk around with the frustration. I mean, try to de-escalate that, because on one hand you're just like, I want to take care of this and whatever, but that wasn't the proper way to do it, because there really wasn't any real quick fix to it. This was a character thing. It built character, it built strength in us, and also like learned how to maybe keep it so we basically de-escalated the whole situation by not feeding it, right, with negativity, and just having a more a godly approach to it, and a non-confrontational approach, which is extremely hard to do. But you can do that, and we're proof of that. I mean, I'm not saying that it was immediate or fast or anything like that, but I'm saying over the course of time, I would say after the first couple of years, you really started figuring out like what fueled it and what didn't fuel it, and what helped you and encouraged you through the process. And then, because when I start seeing my wife start becoming more patient with it, and I see there's productivity being made with it, or headway, however you want to say it, when those things are going in a positive direction, and we're not getting the weekly or the daily blow up of the phone and this is what's going on or whatever, it keeps us more balanced as a husband and wife. And when we are, our kids are, just naturally. So I would say that it was a slow approach, and it just took time. But with that, we carry that now with us, as an example to our kids of how we handle things. And not saying that we don't get frustrated, because we're human, we're not perfect people. But it definitely put us in a better situation through our marriage, through our kids, for the other house. All of that really, I think, is in the best situation, or the best, what am I looking for, the word? The best outcome, I guess. The best outcome that we've had, it's better than ever, really. Even though it's not exactly how maybe we planned or we wanted, right? It's still, I think, is a lot better than it was, and we're just hoping that it continues to get better. So it's kind of a lot I just said, but
yeah, that's okay. So in a nutshell, like, our co-parenting relationship has gotten better. But with that, so has our relationship.
Yep.
Our relationship has grown over the past 10 years, and it's gotten better. I guess some of the ways, I should say, that we've protected our relationship from day one is by, inviting God into our lives, into our relationship, going to church regularly, reading books, taking classes throughout the last 10 years. Like if there's a marriage seminar available at church, we'd take it, or if there was a good book on marriage that a friend recommended, we would purchase it. I also have a don't dent the can analogy. So when it comes to relationships, you know, you can look at the relationship like a aluminum soda can. And, you know, the more dents that you put in a can, it can never go back to looking like its original state. And so every time you say something hurtful, you say something disrespectful, you know, you're denting the soda can. And you can't ever get the soda can back to its original glory, if you will, the original beautiful, flawless state it was in. And, you know, no relationship is perfect by any means, but I have tried, and I know Brad has tried too, not to dent the can when it comes to our relationship between each other. We just try our best not to say anything hurtful to one another, not to say anything disrespectful. And we have, like, we've hurt each other, you know, but literally it's like a few times. Like, I mean, I can count on one hand how many times he has said something that, like, was hurtful to me, or I felt disrespected with his words. And I hope you can say the same. I hope you can count it on one hand.
No,
I mean, at least that's my goal, is to try to be that way. I'm kind of a straight shooter when it comes to what I say, so I might. I mean, you know, if I was, I did not mean to be disrespectful or hurtful to him, and I know he would not ever intentionally do that to me either. So,
yeah, I think trying to be encouraging to one another, and in fact, I don't, you know, I know that to be a fact, and be true to be a big help in a marriage. I mean, try to encourage one another. I mean, there's times where, you know, I'll come home and, you know, maybe things aren't going to plan, and that goes for both of us. I mean, and I talk to a lot of people each day. I'm in a lot of different areas and stuff, doing a lot of different things. So it can get overwhelming. You feel like you're basically on a hamster wheel, and then you come home and you're like, you got to switch gears. And sometimes it takes a few minutes for me to, like, really switch gears, because I'm no longer at work. You know, I'm a dad and a husband, and we have a house, and there's projects that need to be done. And then sometimes it's catching up on, you know, kind of the business side of things, of what we need to discuss or whatever for our kids, or things that we're involved in. So it just prioritizing those things, and staying positive with those. I mean, my initial reaction when I come home is like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and some things you don't really want to deal with. Not that it's not important or you don't care. It's not that at all. It's just being honest here, that it's just not like you need a moment to decelerate, or however you want to say that, from your doing your daily work to coming home. It just takes a minute. And I think, you know, you're in a routine with the boys and all the different things you have going on here. I think you could say the same thing. Like, you switch gears, it takes a little bit. Like,
it can.
So
I think moms are a little bit better at it, because we have to switch gears like all day long. We're switching gears. So anyways, but yeah, I guess I also wanted just to quick talk about the ways that we are, like, currently trying to strengthen our marriage. We definitely have room for improvement. So one thing that we felt like needed to be improved in our marriage as of recent was intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I mean, like, emotional intimacy. And because really, I mean, you know, physical intimacy follows emotional intimacy. But also just like our budget, we needed to be more, you know, in tune and in step together with our monthly budgeting. So we, our current plan to address these is we have a Tuesday night and a Thursday night meeting after we put the boys to bed. Those are not my placement days for the other two kids. So we put the boys to bed between like 8 and 8:30, and we just sit and we talk. We just share what's on our heart. So we have about an hour, hour and a half where we are able to sit and just share whatever's on our heart together. And and then we pray, and then we pray together. And then, you know, for our budget, we just kind of came up with like a new plan on how we were going to handle that. And that's working out well. And then another way that we're trying to grow our intimacy is like through, we're trying to grow intimacy through spirituality, like the spiritual aspect of our marriage. And we both have the YouVersion Bible app on our phone, and we were already like checking the verse of the day pretty much every morning. So we were like, hey, why don't we just text each other like how that verse of the day spoke to us? Because usually Brad's a landscaper, and so like this is a time when you're gone. He's usually gone by the time I'm up in the mornings. So so we just text each other like how the verse spoke to us, and that's been really a great way for us to connect more often, daily, connect daily on a spiritual level. So you know, it's just like anything. Marriage is always a work in progress. But I think when you're in a co-parenting relationship, there is just, when you're in a co-parenting relationship, I feel like you need to put a little bit more time into your marriage, because like I said, not only are you trying to navigate your relationship with each other, but you're also trying to navigate how to co-parent with another parent, or maybe even another set of parents if there's step parents involved on the other end. So you're not only trying to, you know, work on your own relationship with each other, but you're trying to work on your relationship with these other people as well. And work on your relationship with your kids, right? Your kids, your stepkids. So there's just a lot more irons in the fire, so to speak, when you are co-parenting. But I will say that, you know, when you have a broken marriage, with that comes, you know, some hurts and maybe some trust issues. It just kind of, you know, depends on, you know, every situation's a little different, but there's definitely some brokenness because the relationship is broken, right? And, you know, Brad has cultivated a space. You've cultivated a relationship that I could heal in, that I could find healing. And that is really, really important to do whenever you leave a broken relationship. Because, you know, if he hadn't cultivated a relationship that I could heal in, then I just would have stayed broken. So I think that's where that Don't Dent The Can analogy is so important, because we all need to protect our relationships, and we all need healing from any brokenness that we've experienced. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thanks. To God be the glory.
Yep.
Well, we love you all, and we hope this video has inspired you and encouraged you to keep going and to find God's path for your journey.